Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this morning with Sadie and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Sadie's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction. And the only correction that we give is a little tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. And both of your girls are going to come home with their very own training equipment. And you'll be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, Sadie's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on the leash without pulling, tugging, lunging out, staying focused on where you are, and each time that you stop your feet, whether it's to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So this makes walking your girls much more of a pleasure when they're walking with you and they're not walking you. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and it is a one-word command, just stay. Now, you're going to practice lengthening out your sit-stays. Your long sit-stay, you're going to start out at about a minute and work all the way up to 3 minutes. And she's holding her stays very nicely, and when Fred returns back to her, he walks all the way around her as an additional distraction. He walks around to meet the leash, and they start out right where they left off, at heel position. So all of the commands start and stop at that heel position with the dog seated at your left. Nice heeling. She's staying right with Fred. Sit, stay. And have her hold these commands, because what we're doing is we're teaching focus, maturity, attention span, all of the things that you need to have well-mannered dogs. Now this time, instead of walking all the way back to her, Fred's going to demonstrate the come on command. And she comes right in, the little tail's going, and sits facing your knees. No jumping on you. And they go back to heel. Fred talks to her and, taps his leg or just says good girl as they're heeling to keep her focused and aware of where she's supposed to be. Automatic sits are really good. Fred leaves her in sit-stay again. You're going to walk out to the end of your leash and you're going to face her. And then Fred's going to call her in. And that's always a happy command. You hear Fred lighten his tone of voice. We always make coming to you a happy experience. She's doing such a nice job of demonstrating her heeling skills and her automatic sits. Now this time, she's seated at your left. You're going to take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the command to down and stay. The long down stay, when you're practicing at home, you want to work up to 5-minute long down stay. And you can work with the girls together right in your living room. You don't have to go outside. You don't have to make it a chore. We choose to video outside because it gives us room to demonstrate what they've learned, but you don't have to do that. When Fred returns back to her, he walks all the way around her, returning all the way back to heel position, back to where they started again. He gives her a pat for praise. He's going to heel her out of that, and he will demonstrate that down from a heel again for you. They're both so cute and so smart. And they have never missed a beat here at school. They've done a wonderful job of fitting in and enjoying their stay. Now that time Fred just used a hand command. He didn't even give her the verbal command to down and to stay. And she's looking at him very attentively. Now you can mix up your commands and have fun with him. This time Fred will call her out of that down. She's doing a really great job and such a beautiful day. Now this time Fred is going to demonstrate her down from a distance, so he's going to bring her up a little bit closer to the camera. He's going to leave her in a sit-stay. He's going to walk out to the end of his training leash, and he's going to turn to face her. This is the only time that you're going to use your right hand to give the command. Perfect. That's your down from a distance. Now we've demonstrated for you all of her formal obedience commands. Her heel, her automatic sit, her sit-stay, her down stay, her come, her down from a distance. These are all of the commands that you're going to be working with the dogs at home, and also learning to use those commands when you're talking to them at home. So we want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company. We'll be back with your other girl in just a minute.